Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. Case, I guess Leo, he heard the countdown and then he's just like, he wanted to pick up his head and be like, wait a minute, I think I know what's about to go down right now. Good old Leo and Bryce Boy. We just dropped off Bryce Boy. Big happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Put happy V Day, put happy Valentine's Day in the chat. I got to go down memory lane, writing out 18 Valentine Day cards last night. Big thing for the first graders. With John Root, let me just tell you, John, I'd give you Valentine's Day. I should have given you a little card. It's so cute. To John from Brock. And that's what we would have had, right? And we gave a little pen. Little pen came with it. And the teacher, she got 3 pens. I was like, Bryce, why does this one have 3? That's the teacher, Dad. And I leaned into him. I said, that a boy, bud. Way to kiss up. Way to give her the most stuff to help you out. I like that type of stuff. Already trying to work some angles. That's what I always like to do. So good morning to y'all. Good morning to you. Happy Figured Out Friday. Now put TGIF. Put TGIF in the chat. Let's get those chats up and running. Get your fingers loosened up a little bit. What up, Jill? Jackie, what up to you? Good morning to you. Good morning. Sherry, just want to let you know that house that we looked at, that one that we were talking about, 7 offers, 2 of them are over asking price. So it is crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy what people will do. What up, Brian? Good morning to you. Tanya, good morning to you. Kat, Jesse, good morning to you. Oh, I'm trying to scroll. What up, James? Good luck, James. Congrats, brother. I think it was what, $7.99 or $5.99. He picked up a listing yesterday. Hats off to you. He just came on board with us. We're excited to have him. Way to go, bud, on that. John, good morning to you. Rachel, good morning to you. Sarah. All right, enough of my singing. What up, John Hart? D, what up to you? What up, David? As you can see, it's not my first time driving on this road, playing with Zoom. Lots of Zoom experiences. What up, Michelle? Good morning to you. So good morning to everybody. Happy Figured Out Friday to you. My name, what you would think looks like Leo, but Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And excited to be here. We got a special guest on. One would think that I've known her for years, but I literally just met her. And the crazy thing is I didn't even meet her. Like, we both weren't in our home state. So she's from Alabama, or lives in Alabama. I'm from North Carolina, and we met, I think it was a Thursday, Friday. I don't know. We met in Florida while we were at the Rise conference at Real in Orlando. And I really don't remember the whole thing and how it all started. I just remember somehow we started talking, and then it just went from one conversation to the next conversation, and we were sitting down eating together, and I was just like, I really like your story. I really love what you got going on. And then I asked her a couple more things about what she does and everything else. And she is a certified, I'm going to screw it up, I can't remember, certified specialist, she's certified in the book that changed my life. And I'll let her share it in her story. She is certified on The One Thing by Gary Keller. And that kind of was like the kind of like stop traffic moment. I was like, excuse me, what did you just say? And I was like, and then of course I leaned into the conversation of like how that book has changed my life and everything else. And then I asked her to be on the show. Well, here's the thing with Amanda Hall and many people that I find in life. How many of you put a 5 in the chat that you know somebody who tends to overpromise and underdeliver? Put a 5 in the chat if you know somebody who overpromises and underdelivers. And I see that and hear that many times for all the different places and conversations I have. But I got to say this, Amanda is not that person. She literally, since our time period of meeting, since our having just a general conversation, she has been on the show. We have talked numerous of times. She's actually doing an event with their friend Katie down in Alabama. They're hosting Further Together. I'm coming down there to speak. She's been on the show several times. We have numerous of conversations, and she is one of those people that are very few and far between that actually under promise and over deliver. Write that down. Under promise, over deliver. If you can start to learn that strategy, I'm telling you all, you will get more business, you will be on more stages, you will get more opportunities than you can imagine. And Amanda is one of them. And I'm so very thankful after us having our conversation, having dinner, to where we are today, to be able to be one of our speakers on here and to go to Alabama to speak. She came to Nashville. So, guys, put some hearts in the chat. Put a 10 in the chat. Let's do a 10 today. Put a 10 in the chat. Give me some love for Amanda. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning to you from Alabama, the Gulf Shores. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Brock. That was a really fun trip down memory lane from a couple months ago. And thanks for that incredible introduction. Yeah, it's great how sometimes there's these just things that will intertwine ideas, people, uh, energies, and all of that. And the one thing was definitely a defining moment in my life as well. So I love hearing everyone's stories about when you come across it and it impacts you, the differences that it can make. But I'm coming from you to Gulf Shores out from Gulf Shores, Alabama, or Fairhope, Alabama, which is very near Gulf Shores, Alabama. I actually moved down here about 5 years ago from Long Island, New York, where I had spent the last 20 years or so before that, not being an original New Yorker. But I built my real estate business there, started my family there, raised two girls there for a bunch of years. But it just really was not the place that I wanted to be and call home for the rest of my life, and really not the place that I wanted my kids to feel like they had to come back to. And they were growing up, and life was passing me by quickly. And am kind of one of those typical COVID stories where something shakes up the world a little bit and it opens up your eyes and says, life is too short. What are you doing? You've got to make a change and you've got to make it now. I had a very successful real estate business. It was pretty much at the height of my business there. And it was something that was difficult to figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to make it happen. But I just knew that I wanted to be down here in Alabama and I was going to figure out a way to do that. And so I found the one thing. And here I am, and rebuilding life, rebuilding identities, and everyone down here loves it. Everyone, including me, my two children, who are now one's a sophomore at Mississippi State, which I never ever could have predicted that my Long Island daughter would be choosing to go to Mississippi State of all colleges in this country. And she absolutely loves it and is thriving there. And then my other daughter will be joining her there next year, which makes me super happy that they'll be together and in the same place. And then my ex-husband also relocated down here and is loving Alabama. So we're very lucky. Alabama is great, and I get to say that I'm here because I chose it. I wasn't relocated here. I just wanted to be here and am building the life that we kind of always wanted to have.
I love that. We did by choice. I was talking to somebody yesterday and we were doing a deeper dive and I said to her, I said, listen, I said, this is going to be a completely different perspective, but I think you've been living your life by assignment, not by alignment. And many times in our lives, we sometimes are just like different things happen to us and we just have to go through with it. And it just like, well, this took place. And it's not until we have like a pause or we get this opportunity, this choice to be able to say, this is where I want to go and this is where I want to grow. So that's really cool that you got to be able to be there by choice. Because many times you hear, well, I had to relocate my job, the school, the kids, whatever it might be. And so having that really congruent alignment on the choice of where you wanted to live, that's really cool where many people don't get that. Um, I also like this. Put a 5 in the chat. How many of you, your life has changed since COVID in some capacity, in some way? Put a 5 in the chat that if that has happened to you, that many people, if you talk to W-2 employees, if you talk to, I don't know, I don't want to make fun of them too much, but if you just talk to scarcity minded people, most of them will say COVID was a distraught, can cause this problem, this. It was just like a huge negativity. But at the same token, COVID brought a lot of opportunities. COVID brought a lot of things that we never thought. I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be coaching, teaching, and having calls all across the country on Zoom. Imagine 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I said, guys, we're going to do Zoom. Who wants to Zoom with me? They'd be like, what? Zoom, Zoom where? It just it wasn't even a concept. And look at all the people we're able to bring together and see people what they're doing at their job, getting ready in their cars, at their office, and doing all these things. So like I love how you had that mindset. Now I want to shift to the purpose of the call of the figured out moment. And we always talk, and we got an opportunity earlier to talk. And I know you have like some that are gonna like you have two moments that are intertwining. But share with us the one that you want to start off with. The moment where you had to figure it out. There wasn't an owner's manual. I couldn't go to my glove box and go to page 17 and be like, okay, this is where I need to go to fix this problem. Talk to us a little bit about that figure out moment.
Well, and I apologize, I've got a terrible cold right now, but I'm trying your hydrogen water that you recommended
Ah,
the other day. So I don't know if this is going to help illness or not, but instead of coffee this morning, I'm trying to heal my body a little bit with some hydrogen water. But I love uh, the opportunity to kind of sit with the figure it out theme, which I've been doing a little bit this week. And um, on one of your calls earlier this week on Tuesday, you were talking about season in your life, Brock. You're always so vulnerable on these calls and sharing, and it's so appreciated. And I think that we all get so much out of it. And I was thinking about that and preparing for our call today. And, I think that what really struck me was the most difficult times that we really have to figure it out are the times that kind of shake up our identity a little bit. We identify as these things when you open, your call, when we introduce ourselves, we identify as certain things. And sometimes when there's something that happens that shakes that up, it's really valuable to have a strong relationship with our identity. And one of the things that you really hone in on with the one thing is kind of having those values and having strong values. And I had a coach tell me often throughout the years, because I can be a very over analytical person. I love to get into learning and learning and learning. And sometimes, I'm much more comfortable learning than in action or making those decisions. And so he would say to me, when your values are clear, your decisions are easy. And I always loved that. But at the same time, um, I never really took the time to just really understand. Like you have values, your parents raise you with values, and some of them are great and some of them are habits and some of them are things that we do that we don't even know that we're doing. And one of the values that my parents kind of raised me with, and there were some great ones. I have great parents. I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful to them. But one of the things that I got from them was um, they weren't big on being wrong. Like,
Mm,
you never wanted to be wrong. Like, if you don't know the answer, don't say anything. Like, you just, you kind of, you had to be sure, very, very sure. And that can be almost paralyzing sometimes in business or in life when you have big things coming up and you don't want to make the wrong choice. And what I'm learning is still to be imperfect, to be authentic, and to be wrong a lot and to take more action. And that, change and figuring things out sometimes comes from wrong action, but quick action, and then pivoting faster. So, thinking about this call today and thinking about figuring things out, I started to kind of lean into that idea of identity and values. And the first time that I really had to figure things out, I was very young, but it was an important shift in my life. So I think that it's just worth talking about a little bit. But I was raised, and I always wanted to be a ballet dancer. I just,
mm,
spent years and years and years training, 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 and I wanted to be in the New York City Ballet or San Francisco Ballet, one of the top, like being playing for the New York Yankees. That was the only thing I wanted to do. Like,
mm,
there's no second, you have to be in the top. That's it. And I told my parents I wasn't going to college, like just send me to New York. I'm spending my summers in New York. Like I didn't want to do anything
mm,
else. This is my life. This is what's happening. And I didn't prepare for any plan B. Like that was it. And then when it became time to actually audition for companies and get into, playing for the New York Yankees, and I realized that the Yankees were not they were not calling my name.
mm,
I had to say, like, I really don't want to make all of these sacrifices that you have to make in this life and not have a family and not have all of these things that you have to do if you're going to be a professional ballet dancer. You really have to give up your entire life to it. I want to have a family. I want to have maybe some more normalcy. I want to have some other things, but who am I now? Like, I've always been a ballet dancer. Who am I and what am I going to do? And I didn't have any idea. And it actually took me a few years to kind of recover from that. And I had like a midlife crisis at 18, 19, and
mm.
20 years old, just trying to figure out like now who I was going to be and reinvent myself then. And we moved around a lot, so I wasn't from like one place. I didn't have like a strong network of people to lean in on. And so I moved out to Colorado and just to kind of eventually find myself and figure things out a little bit and started working at a real estate office there. And that's kind of how
Go
I
figure.
fell into real estate in Breckenridge, Colorado, back when I was 20 years old, and also met who I eventually married out there, who is from Long Island, New York. But um, I loved it. I loved that new identity, and I loved the opportunity to kind of use all the different things that I felt like I could be good at and helping other people, supporting other people, and also analyzing numbers and investments and everything else. I could kind of pick and choose what I thought were my strengths and put it to work for me. And and I've never done back. I've never looked back. I'm a career real estate agent, which isn't something that you come across all that often. A lot of times people are something else and then a real estate agent, but I've been a real estate agent pretty much my whole life since then. And that has been my new identity for the most part, in addition to obviously having now the opportunity to have a more normal life with a family and two fantastic girls. But figuring that out was a long process. So then when I became a real estate agent in New York, um, I built my business over years and, put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It was how my family was supported. I was the primary income deliverer, and that is how we lived, was off of my income and off of my business. And so when I wanted to move, it was very scary. And I didn't want to change my lifestyle. I wanted to have a better lifestyle. I didn't want to give up anything. I wanted to add to it. I just realized that I was not living the life that I wanted to be living, and I was not enjoying my kids. I was not home with them ever. I was missing things, which so many people get into this business because you should have time with the people that you love. And my priorities were really messed up. They were just really messed up. So I had to, talking about one of those big major changes that COVID showed us, it just really showed me what my priorities, how messed up my priorities had gotten. And priorities, as you know, is a big word with the one thing. Like, you can only have one. You can't even actually have multiple priorities. You can only have one priority at a time. That's it. And if it's the wrong
Mm.
one, well then those balls drop and they shatter and you don't get them back. So the second, I guess, figuring it out moment was figuring out actually and re-identifying those balls that were dropping and about to shatter, and I needed to save basically. And really honing in on what my true priority was going to be. And sometimes that meant disappointing people. And sometimes that meant pissing people off. And sometimes that meant um, putting myself and my priorities back in front of all the other things that we have going on and all the other people that yell at you every day. We all wake up with a big old plate of stuff that we have to get done, and nobody tells you and points to the first one and says, hey, start here every day. It's up to us to figure it out. And when we don't choose properly, then it can really not only impact our day, it can impact our week, it can impact our month. And ultimately, you look back and you say, what happened? All this time went by and I didn't do any of these things that I wanted to do. And I'm not truly living the life that I want to be living. So that second moment was figuring out that I wanted to be down here and then rebuilding a new identity, not as someone. I mean, I used to go everywhere, of course, and people knew who I was. I'd been in business for such a long time. People ask you about the real estate market. You can't go anywhere without talking to people about real estate. And then you move and it's crickets. Like, you're nobody, you're
Strangers.
nothing, you have no identity. But that can be a gift too, because you get to actually rebuild the identity, and then when your values are clear, your decisions become easy, and it can be a really great opportunity to rebuild it in the way that you want.
I love so I took some notes down here because I want to transition into my other questions, but I wanted to touch base on I like the word you said, and for those that are looking for an easy answer, I apologize for this comment. It's a long process. It's not it's not an overnight. It's not a light switch. It's not the internet went down and let's go ask everybody in the office, did your internet go? Did your internet, like, we have a panic attack. We have to understand that when this process, that whatever it is that you're in, it's long, it's not short. And understanding that and absorbing it and recognizing that. I also like this, and I think as adults we don't do this at very seldom do we do this anymore. I don't want to say at all, very seldom. I love the mindset that we have as children, as teenagers. When you are dead set, You effed everybody else out of your life and said, I'm going to be a ballerina. I'm going to New York. I'm telling the world. I'm telling my parents. I'm going to San Francisco. And this is what I'm going to do. And you didn't care about anything else out there and you did it. What happened, adults? What happened to that drive where you go and you tell everybody what it is that you are going to do? And whether you fail at it or not, you don't care because you are all in. And that's what I loved about that, Amanda, is you were all in at 18 years old, at 16 years old, 15. Whenever you made that decision, you were all in. And I think as adults, we get scared to fail and we don't want to tell anybody because we don't want to let somebody know that if we do fail, we feel like a loser and oh my gosh, the world's falling apart. I don't want somebody to keep it a secret. So if I don't get it, nobody's going to know. And you know what? You're still alive today, Amanda. That you told every single person and you pivoted, you've changed, you've done everything you needed. So if there's anything you take from her story, y'all, is I want you to scream it from the mountaintops today. I want you to call somebody, text somebody, reach out to somebody and tell them what your vision is. Tell them what your goal is. Go into the Facebook group and write it in there. Say, this is what I want to do. I'm tired of playing small. Here's where I want to go. And whether you get there or not, it's going to be okay, y'all. You're going to be perfectly fine. But announce it because once you put it out into the universe, things happen. God works in mysterious ways. Now, I know you got an event, Amanda, but before we bring into your event on the Gulf Shores in less than 2 weeks, I want to ask you, what's the one thing, the infamous book, the one thing, the one priority that changed my life was my drinking. And that decision I made has transformed my life. What's the one thing you would like to leave us with today, knowing that you're certified in the book, knowing you peel the onion back in this book, knowing what you've been through in your life? What's the one thing you want to leave us with today?
I guess the thing would be that identity doesn't rebuild in our head. And that can be, the thing that I'm still working through. It rebuilds in motion, and it's still always about the activities that we do. It's one thing to proclaim it, and it's another thing to put all your actions behind it. So proclaim it and then act and put it into motion. Put it into motion every day, something, one little thing, do it.
I love it. I love it. I think it's so like, it's like you have to take massive action. Tony Robbins talks about it all the time, taking massive action. I believe action creates clarity. And once you have clarity, good decisions, good or bad decision, whatever choice you make, you have more clarity to understand what direction, what it is that you need to do in order to continue to move forward, pivot, adjust, churn, whatever it might be. And so I really, really love that. Tell us a little bit about your event. Tell us about what you got going on for Alabama.
Well, I mean, come and see Brock, obviously. He'll be down. We've got Drew Thompson talking about his incredible AI tools, which he is always bringing the latest and greatest and something spectacular. We've got Connie Alexander, who sold the largest estate in the entire state of Alabama this year, which, or I think ever, not this year, ever in history, talking about luxury real estate and a fantastic panel of agents who are doing just incredible things with branding and leadership down here on the Alabama Gulf Coast and in the region. It's going to be a room full of fantastic people to network with and mastermind with. And it's going to be a beautiful spot. If you've never been to Gulf Shores, Alabama, it is a wonderful place to come and visit and check out. So if you want to get away just for a night or two, it's February 24th. And Gulf State Park has a beautiful lodge, which is it's an eco-friendly lodge with right on the water with beautiful views.
Yeah, you sent me the hotel picture and I was just like, yep, I can stay there. I can make that work. I'm gonna
It
be
ain't
okay.
bad.
Well, guys, we're gonna be down there. She's actually doing a special mastermind the night before. And I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but we'll figure it out. But if you do come out there and you got to take a plane ride, or you got to travel more than a couple hours, we'll figure out a way to get you in the rooms Monday night. This is just for the special elite people. It is not for the main room on Tuesday. So it's a Monday night thing. We're going to be doing a deeper dive. Drew, myself, Amanda, Katie, we're really going to be helping people on higher level thoughts, higher level type of things that they're trying to figure out. So Amanda wanted to do something special, and I was all in on that. And so if you do come down there, I'm sure we can make it happen for you to be in there, that room Monday night. So we'll put it in the Facebook group, and make sure that you guys can get the tickets. It's actually much cheaper than my event. It is much cheaper than my event coming to it. It is really something that I would strongly suggest. If you can get there and you're a couple hours away, go to it. Um, Guys, put some 5 and some love in the chat. Put some 5, some hearts and love in the chat from Amanda. Amanda, close us out, lady. What do you want to say to us? Close us out.
Well, I just really want to say that I spend so much of my week thinking about the way that it starts every day with this morning motivational call, and it is truly such a gift, and I've enjoyed it so much. So thanks for letting me be a part of it. Honestly, I it allows me that little bit of space to think in the morning and then go and put it into action every single day, and it's spectacular.
Well, thank you, Amanda. And I appreciate you sharing this morning. I appreciate you being always on here in the mornings as well. Guys, we put Amanda's information. You want to reach out to her. You want to touch base. You want to have a text message. You want to have a conversation. Maybe you're going through a move. Maybe you're trying to re-identify yourself. She's a perfect person to have a conversation with. So, Grace, make sure we repost Amanda's information on there. We keep the chats open just for a little bit longer, so that way you guys can scroll through the chats, anything that you've seen. And guys, I want you to have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Doesn't seem possible already a Friday. There's Amanda's information right there. We'll be back 8:15 Monday morning with Chad Free. Leo, he got tired. So he's taking a nap. He's ready to rock and roll and get after the day. Guys, I appreciate y'all. Amanda, thank you so much. Till Monday, everybody. God bless you. See ya.